Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the workbench here at Safe Haven Valley Railroad. We are starting the build for Mountain Cottage today, but we got some housekeeping to do first. Yesterday, or as of last night, we've hit 100 subscribers. That's right, 100 subscribers and viewers like you have helped keep this channel going, and we want to say thank you for all your views, your support, your comments, and everything else. So what a better way to kick off a new scratch build project than announcing that we are finally at our first mark of 100 subscribers. And it is growing every day and every week. And I'm just excited to see all you liking and partaking in what we do here at Safe Haven on the workbench. Um, and so I want to say from us to you, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching and liking all that we do. We are glad that you guys are taking away some ideas and whatever it is that you guys see that you like. We're just proud and happy to be a part of that. I couldn't do what I do without sending out a special thanks to Mud Creek Models, who is a big, who's supplies a lot of my models as I do in scale. I do get other details around my local area when I need them on the go, but primarily Mud Creek Models is where I get a lot of my in-scale stuff, unfortunately. So they are a big part of what we do here. Um, and they give all the time. They're giving inspiration with what they put out on their shop. So Frank, if you're watching, more than you know, you keep me going here, creating ideas of what I want to do for scratch builds. I got a few ideas to merge buildings down the line that and combine and stuff, but that's when I get down the line for my layout. Hopefully later this year. Um, so, but with today we're just going to get the project rolling, and we're going to get stuff done and try to get this looking like a structure a little bit. So let's jump on over to the bench and get this thing rolling. And we'll be working on and off of this throughout the week. So we'll be posting updates on this build so you all can be a part of it and just enjoy this new scratch build that I designed and created and am putting together. So let's jump over and get right to it, everybody. Okay, so we are here on the workbench, and today's plan is to get the corner post painted white, because that's part of the trim. We're going to glue the supports on the back of the walls, and then after that's done, we are going to use, that's right, we're going to use titanium white. There we go. We are going to use titanium white for the windows and doors and the trim. And then the house itself is going to be hunter green. And we're going to going that over into the second part of the structure build, which is the carport that we're adding to the house. It's going to have the same colors. And so with that, I've already got the when the structural supports ready to go. We're just going to get a little bit of tacky glue And I'm just going to put it right here. And then I'm going to get some of this green. I've which we're going to just do it right out. A lot of times I just paint right out of the lid. Just makes its own portable thing, but I do have my own tray that I use quite often. So let's get a couple of my little toothpicks here. I tried cleaning these up last night a little bit. I got a little bit better. I cleaned it up a little bit, but as I stated, this is going to be my last project that I'm doing until sometime in March, structure-wise. I do have some locomotives that will be needing to be cleaned, and some other projects like some rolling stock to be put together. So I will be doing videos of the rolling stock. Not so much with cleaning the locomotives, because that's a whole new thing for me. So, and I won't be doing that on videos, but I will be doing the rolling stock kits at some point. So you'll have to stay tuned for that later on this year as we get into doing that. So that's going to be kind of exciting to start getting back into that. I did a few a while ago, and they work pretty well. So I'm looking forward to just jumping back into those. I do have a few that I'll be doing here and there, but primarily I will be doing structure kits, and occasionally other videos regarding the hobby as we move forward. But right now, with my work schedule, it's primarily just structure kits. I will be doing a few how-tos here and there, kind of instructional things to kind of help if you're looking for a certain kind of help. Hopefully I will hit a niche that you're looking for, those kind of things, because at the end of this month I will be downsizing my work area greatly, because my wife and I are trying to get into our own home so I can have my big area for my trains. That's right, I'm looking to get into my own home this year, so I can have a bigger shop. Right now, I just have a little like microwave cart that I'm working on as my workbench, and so this is going to be a big upgrade when we get a house. So, but what we have here is, because I have a door and a large window, I am putting 4 pieces on it. I'm going to put one on either side, even though I'm going to have the corner posts here. I'm gonna just keep a structural support here, one in between, and then one in diagonal above the big window, just for that added structural support. And then the other half here has only 3, because it only has a window, so that will work great for that. So yeah, there's a lot of good things coming up this year, not just in the hobby for me, but I have on reserve plans to be at Timonium this year in October. That's on the calendar. So if you guys are back east watching, my plans are to be at the Timonium show. Believe it's the 14th and 15th, or yeah, the 14th, 15th of October. So I'll get to meet. I'm looking forward to meeting people back there that um, are at the show if I come across you. If you're going to be there as well, we'll talk more about the show later this year before it happens. Because I will be flying from the West Coast back to the East Coast and joining there. Um, so it's just going to be a fun trip for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing the show primarily, and then on secondary, I'm looking forward to meeting some of you guys there. Um, I know that Timonium always has YouTubers meet and greet, usually of some level that's arranged. So I'll have to give a shout out to some of the guys that are doing YouTube, and we can get a thing going, a meet and greet for any new YouTubers such as myself that are out there doing channels and stuff. And if you are going to be at the show in October, when the time comes, don't hesitate to reach out and say, "Hey, I'm going to be there as well. Let's meet up." I would love to meet up and chit chat with you guys and kind of say, "Hey, hi." West Coast. It's like Brett and Todd Wiley say, East Coast meets West Coast. West Coast meets Coast. So with all the good things that are coming along, I'm just looking to be meeting everybody. I hear a lot of good things about the East Coast and the hobby, and so I'm coming out to see everything out that way. So yeah, that'll be a fun time at the end of this year. I'm looking forward to meeting Frank and Natalie at the show. They know that my plans are to come out and be out there and see what's all going on. I've been talking to him, so they are excited to finally get to put I guess you can say, put a face to the person. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. It's a big trip for me this year. Um, it's what's on the calendar this year, and also I also just got from my birthday present the new in scale. If you're doing in scale, I'm sure you heard about it. Hobby Town USA, or you can find it on Shop app. They have brought out the Broadway Limited Big Boy 4014 DC and DCC locomotive that has smoke. Yeah, that's right. It has smoke. I am not going to debut that until I have a track at my new home. So you guys will get to see me run that when I have a track set up to run at the new home. So I'm looking forward to doing all that later this year. That's the plan. So we'll go with that. So next, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just take a moment and just trim out the corner posts. That way I get the correct height and get what I want out of it. And to do that, I just do each one individually. That way I get the proper get what I want that's proper. All right, so that one's done. And I only need 4 because I'm putting them on the end of the big sides. And when I do scratch building, when I do the roofs, I always leave a slight overhang, just so that I have enough to work with. All right, so there's that. These are for that. So we're going to do here, there's those. I am going to, before I start painting here, I am going to put down a paper towel so that, okay, so here's the paper towel. I'm going to move them from one towel to the other, and that way we're good. So I'm now done with these for now. I'm going to put them back up here with the others. Put another paper towel down here. And I'm going to just leave the pieces with those. I'm going to start with these. Now, I have a particular way that I do my painting, and so I'm actually going to do the smaller ones first. So I'm actually going to bring these up out of the way because the way I do it gets a little bit wet. So I'm going to actually add another paper towel underneath that. And we are going to start with the green. And this is just the way that I do it, and it just came out. I did this on Natalie's Freight. Let me show you Natalie's Freight real quick. Here's Natalie's Freight. See how smooth that came out? Look how clean that came out. Well, the sign came out terrific. But I want you to look at the gray. This came out so well. I don't think I can duplicate. I have not been able to duplicate that one particularly as well. But the process comes out the same. So what I do is I actually use an eyedropper, and I use the 99% isopropyl alcohol. And what I will be doing is let's see where's that brush I want to use. I'm going to be using this brush. It's just this one here is a number 4 flat. They call it's a weird brand, but it's just a number 4 flat kind of thing. I don't like using brushes that are so flimsy because it leaves strokes in the paint, and then the hairs get so loose that it's annoying. So what I do is I shake it down to the lid. If you can use a palette or whatever, and I just get it in the lid. Set that up out of the way where I'm not going to bother it. And then I open up the alcohol. And what I do is I just leave it like this so that I can go with the grain. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dribble, get this a little bit wet. Because I'm practically just dry brushing little by little on there. So now it's absorbed into the wood. And it's great. So now what I do is I just take a little bit of paint and I start brushing. I just do slow brushes. What it will do is it thins it out, but I'm going to do multiple passes over it. And as I brush it, it creates a thin green color, and it helps randomize the house. So you can do a little bit more in one area or light in the other, and then you can place it later. But the alcohol just helps thin it out. And as long as you go long strokes from one side to the other, you'll get nice, clean strokes all the way across. And it will look good, clean. And what I do is I do it until, the house gets an even color, and the alcohol kind of subsides. Now, this is an old mountain cottage, so I'm not going to go too dark on the cottage with the green. I want to show it some wear, so I'm not going to do the entire, thing dark hunter green. I want it to show its age because it's up on the mountain, So, that's kind of what I'm looking for in this. But I will do a little bit more on it, to give it, some good look. And I don't want it deep, that's why I layer the colors little by little with each coat. And, you get that fading effect like how a house does. Well, that's kind of what I'm going for, and I'm getting better at doing it because I do it quite often. And then when this dries, you're going to see here in a second when I'm done, I'll show you. And I'm trying to just do full strokes so it looks clean on the house, for one. And then you got fading spots. This is a mountain cottage, so it's not going to be a new cottage. It's just going to be one that's there for a while. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm hoping this will come out clear enough for you when I bring it up to the camera. Let me zoom down a little bit so you guys can see it closer down here. See how that looks? It looks pretty darn clean. I do have a little touch up here on the corner I'm going to do real quick, but you get the point. See how clean that does? The alcohol just thins it out enough to let it do a clean paint job. I had some guy ask me if I actually airbrushed it, and I'm like, no. When I did Natalie's Freight. So I just take what's left in the brush and I work on that corner, and I just pull down, and I'm not adding any more to it. I'm just taking what's on the brush, and because I like the way it's drying out. I don't want it too dark. I don't want it too deep. It's been around a while. The sun's aged on it, so it's not a true dark. The sun's actually bleached it, so it's actually a lighter color. So there's that. We got that one done. Now, let's go into the other one here real quick. And we'll do the same thing. Just kind of let the alcohol kind of thin it out on the first layer to make it look good. So just kind of long brushes. Get some more paint, dab it. And as it dries, you're going to get the alcohol just helps dry the paint. So what I do is I just grab some paint and then I can splotch it and just work on one side, kind of working around. Um, I try to do solid strokes across, that way you're not getting paint strokes all the way in the middle of the structure. And what I love about the alcohol is that the alcohol helps thin that and reduce that out, I find, at least for me. Um, and this is like I said, this is a scratch build that I just threw together. Um, and, it is what it is. I don't have the laser technology or machines to do good cuts like laser kits, but I have talked about that with my wife at some point. If I want to do some specific scratch builds, you know, um, a lot of my scratch builds come from pre-made kits or will be. So, you know, we'll see how things come down the road later. But see, as the alcohol dries and I apply it, I'm doing long strokes. I don't want it too light, but I don't want it too dark either. So, but I'm trying to do my best to make it look like it's a regular green, and try to make it to where I can place it where maybe the sun's hitting it on one side more than the other. But yeah, this is coming out pretty good with the color. I'm being, it's pretty good. Um, the white will kind of make it pop too. So, now, set those aside. And then I'll get the dropper. And grab the brush and just keep on going. And just let this pooling stuff just absorb right in and just kind of dive right in. What I find is that sometimes what the alcohol does is it just pulls the paint right into the wood. And I don't mind that at all, really. So I'm just getting this done. I've also am going to be down the line probably getting into some, when I do get a workspace to have it, probably a spray booth set up so I can get a air gun. And I've been looking at them. I do think that they are beneficial to what I do, um, and whatnot, and I think they're kind of cool. So it's something that I will venture into at some point. Um, well, we'll just have to play that one by ear. I know several people have commented that yeah, they're great. They love them. That the outcomes of their buildings come out great. They're easy to clean. I've heard a lot of really good reviews regarding them. So these builds that I do are all by hand, and I watched a lot of Jason Jensen before I started doing this. So um, you know, he's a great guy, and has lots of good inspiration. So I try to take my time, um, and whatnot, and learn from whatever I do. Okay, so I choose a color combo. Okay, it didn't work out great. I have two choices. I can either, paint over it, or next time just stay away from that color scheme. Those are the two choices that I have. So now I'm just going back and forth to blend in the paints as the alcohol is drying and evaporating. It is allowing me to get a little bit more paint onto the structure, and I can control how much or how little in areas a little bit. Sometimes I have to add a little bit more, depending on what I'm after. And I'll show you, because I deliberately added a little too much paint because I wanted to show you how easy it is to fix or not have enough in there. So all you gotta do is grab a little bit of more of the alcohol and drop it on the areas that you really want to focus on. Now do a little control, because what will happen is that the alcohol will absorb into the wood and it will warp your due to moisture. It will warp, and that's why when you do this, I'm trying to slow down enough just to show you what I do on this build, but I'm also trying to work and do so it'll set up right, where the way I want it. And just know that if you got too much, just use a little bit of the alcohol. And just take your time. Don't use a lot, just use little by little. Do good strokes all the way across your structure. And it will thin out the paint, because what it does is the alcohol absorbs the paint and allows you to remove it. And so what I do is I use that ability to actually paint. It's kind of like when you do airbrushing. There's enough thinner in there to make it thin paint, and it just spreads so much nicer. Well, that's what the brushing effect does on a house. You just got to be able to take your time and allow the brush to do the work. And so I had a little bit thinned out here, too thick here, so I used the alcohol, and I'm just brushing some of it down and off. I even empty my brush like this right on the pal, and then it'll allow me to just spread whatever's on there and whatnot. So, and then I'll add a little bit more on the brush where I need to make it more of the color I want. So you just got to play with, the shade of color that you want. So yeah, you just got to take your time and do what you got to do. And this is kind of how it's looking out to be. I'm adding little by little, and I'm dabbing my brush every time because I don't want to add a whole lot to it at one time. And as the alcohol evaporates, I'm getting it closer and closer to the shade, and layer by layer, and just trying to keep and as it gets to the end, I'm trying to keep full, slow, controlled brush strokes all the way across. That way it looks clean, or cleaner, when it dries. And then it'll look good. So, but we have one more piece to do, so I'm going to call this one good. Going to get the other one done, and then I think we'll call that good for today. Like I said, I'm not trying to keep these videos long. In fact, this is a half hour as we speak, but I'm going to finish this and then we'll call it good, just so you can see the entirety of this whole house being painted. I will get it done real quick here for you so you can see it, and then we'll call it a wrap. So what I do is I just get the paint to absorb in real quick, and like I said, you don't have to have it all the same shade. If you're trying to do a little bit of weathering to it, you need to think about which way the building's facing, which way is the house going to sit. Now this is a mountain cottage, so it's going to get sun, but not like a house that sits out with no trees. So it's not going to be, it's going to get splotchy with sunlight and fading in certain spots and not in some others. So I'm going to just do the best I can. And paint what I think will be what I want it, close to what I am aiming for. And then that way, it's good either way it goes on the layout. Boom, 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 boom. So I hope you guys are having a good weekend. If you're there, I know there's across the country, there's lots of train shows going on this weekend. And if you're near one, I hope you're able to make it out to one. Again, a lot of these builds that I do happen to be all the ones I've gotten from Frank and Natalie. And because I do N scale, there's other N scaler people out there. Frank is just one of those guys that put out exactly what I need, and I've been in contact with him. I've been only to a very few select in shows, and I am looking forward to definitely coming back to the East Coast shows and being able to partake in what you guys or have back there. Some of the stuff I've gotten online are coming from the same guys that go back to those shows. So okay, we are just about to wrap this up. I'll show you what it all looks like. And this is a mountain cottage. Doesn't necessarily mean it was in a forest or a lot of trees. It's just a hunter green house with white trim that has been sitting around on the hillside or something. Okay, so we're going to call that good on that one. So let me put the cap back on this paint here. And we're good there. I'll put my water brush in there. I will be keeping this short. It's already 36 minutes in, so as I said, I probably wasn't going to get to the corner posts. We will start there. I will get them painted, and then we'll start gluing them together and getting the house together in the next video. So we'll get the walls together and glue along with the corner posts together. So we'll get them on and painted and on. We'll get them painted, and then we'll get them on the building and get the house together. And, or excuse me, we'll get them corner post on, and we will get the windows and doors all painted next time. And then we will start getting the windows and doors in. So it'll be a couple of videos before we apply get the doors and windows in. But the plan for next video is to get the corner post painted, get them mounted onto the structure, and then we will paint. I'm going to paint the door and windows so that they're ready to go, probably, because they're all going to be white. There's no point in showing white, painting white. But I'll get those all done and ready to go, so we can install them, as well as get these painted white and get them to be installed. So next video, we should be installing doors, windows, and corner posts. And if that all goes well, we might end the build for that video with the structure going together, which will leave us to all the roofing and the carport. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. I'm going to end it here. You guys have a rest of your day. Have an awesome rest of your day. And thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this technique that I use, you're able to use or something thereof. And just know that I use this quite often. I thin my paints out with the alcohol, and it dries quick, as you can see. This allows me, I could go in and do more. This is something that I can do in a day with the way that I paint. So this scratch build, I could have it all done today, but I am doing smaller videos for you guys, so you guys can just follow along, and it keeps me going and keeps me busy. So it's a joy of mine. Like I said, it may be right, it may be wrong, but it's just the way I do it. And I enjoy hearing comments and suggestions from all you guys. So again, enjoy the rest of your day, and tune in for the next video that comes up this week, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. So with that, take care, guys, and we'll see you back here at the workbench in the next video.